Have you got these 5 personality traits? If so, you've got what it takes to make your ideas matter. Here's how they show in handwriting. First, we'll look at independent thinking, which is the willingness to seriously consider unconventional possibilities. And there's initiative, the ability to seize an opportunity when it appears. Willpower or starting power is the force that pushes through early resistance. And lastly, tenacity and determination are the resolve to carry something through to completion. Ideas become reality when these forces work together. So independent thinking is the spark. It says, this may not be how it's usually done, but I'm willing to look at it anyway. It's originality. And this shows in writing where a T or a D stem is short. Both these T's are short, but the D is even shorter. So very short T and D stems is independent thinking, the willingness to think things out your own way regardless. The next one is initiative. Initiative is the ignition. It goes from recognition of the opportunity to moving towards grasping it. And in handwriting, this shows in a T, where instead of doing the usual T bar, the writer goes down to the base of the T, then swings out to the right. As you'll see, there are 3 of them there. That is initiative. Then we have willpower or starting power. This is the launch, it what gets you going. And that shows when the T-bar is heavier than the rest of the writing. A good solid T-bar, if the writing is very light, the heavy T-bar won't have to be very heavy, but it will be heavier than the rest of the writing. Then we have tenacity and determination. So tenacity is hanging on no matter what. And this shows where before you take the pen off the paper at the end of a word, a little hook appears, usually when the letter ends at the baseline like these do, so a little hook is tenacity. Determination is hanging in there as well, and that shows where the lower extender is long and straight. It may or may not have a loop. The loop doesn't count either way for this. What we're looking at is the downstroke. If it's long and straight, that is good determination. So both of these show sustained follow-through. Here's a quick quiz. We're looking for independent thinking, initiative, will or starting power, determination, and tenacity. And here's the writing. So first, can you find independent thinking in there? You can pause this video at any time to have a look for a bit longer. Independent thinking is there. It shows in the short T's. There would also be short D's, but there are no D's in this, so we just look at the short T's. So yes, independent thinking. Next we'll look for initiative. And there it is. The green arrows point to initiative. The T-bar swings out from the baseline, showing initiative. Next, let's look for willpower or starting power. Can you see it there? It shows in the first 2 T-bars there, which are stronger and heavier than the rest of the writing. The third T-bar often isn't really heavy at all, but the first 2 are, so willpower or starting power is there. Then we have determination. Can you find determination in here? Yep, that's it. The long straight downstroke on the G. It could also be in the F, but it isn't long enough there, but we have a determination in the G. And lastly, we'll look at tenacity. Can you find tenacity in this writing? Nope, it's not there. But we've got 4 out of 5, so that's pretty good. This writer has a pretty good chance of following through on their original ideas. So there we have it. When ideas fail to become reality, it's rarely about the lack of talent. It's usually because one of these 5 forces is missing. Which are your main strengths?